y'all do pop up in my mind at the oddest times. And I do notice when somebody that's usually here isn't here. And then I just sort of hope everything's all right or make a wish for things to be all right. Okay. Refuge. However you would like to take refuge and set your intention, and feel very free to join what I do. With a wish for all beings to be free, free from the constriction and contraction of held belief systems and thought patterns, free from the automatic reactivity, from learned and held emotional patterns. Felt that one. And free from the isolation and suffering caused by distorted perceptions. I will always go for refuge. Nope. I will always rest as refuge in alive, vibrant, spacious, radiant awareness until awareness is ongoing, like the flow of a river. Enthused by wisdom and compassion, today in the presence of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, really all awakened ones, of any lineage or none, and or any time or beyond time. I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all beings. As long as space remains, as long as beings remain, may I manifest in such a way to ease and dispel the miseries in the universe. So I've noticed, as I'm sure all of you have, become aware of the kind of rhythm that seems to happen of an habitually kind of a contracted more self-focused moments and then expansive moments. Well, I don't even like to label them contraction and expansion, but there you are. Um, if we're lucky enough to have everything open, well, I say lucky enough, but when it first happens, it may not be particularly comfortable when the Bilblah falls apart and we can't find a thought, a reactive feeling, or a distorted perception. We can't find anything, and we're left with sometimes what all of that is covering up. A very, for me, primal scream, fear. And if we are able to be with that with an open heart as much as we can, while that unravels itself. There are moments of, I don't know, everything's all right. What are we all worried about? Why are we all struggling so much? They're not questions. They're just, it's hard to describe an experience. And yet, in my experience also, when that occurs, even for a second, usually because of something that has swept us out of our pattern. Sometimes things that are very difficult for us, like losing somebody in their form when their body can't support them anymore. But they can happen in moments of great joy too, this opening. They're not those fresh, open emotions are not really all that different, and nor all that isolated. In my habits in my life, there have been very big distinctions between grief and joy, happiness and love, anger and fear. Some of them I really like. That's the difference, really. Some of them I really like, and some of them I don't like at all. Uh, But in those moments I'm talking about, or trying to talk about, point at, is really everything just is. Sometimes it feels like it's just as simple as the describer, the judger, the victim part of us simply disappears. And in my experience, and those of others who've had that experience, the utter falling away, which is almost, but not, a kind of a blankness, because there's nothing to grab, nothing to find, nothing to, and no one looking in that moment, opens up into this ridiculous effort I'm making to describe. If we notice, if there is a noticing, we are always in the habit, most of us, of being the one who's aware. But when that opens, there is no one who's aware, but there is awareness, very much so. And yet, within a short time, for most of us, there's a little bit of unease, even in this, I don't even know, those little habits maybe start to creep back in. And there's almost like a little voice going, but what about me? How are we going to act? What are we going to do? Just this little tiny bit of unease, which is phenomenal, really, but we are human. And then and the normal human pattern is to make an explanation. Oh, I know, I've been practicing really well lately. That was probably, or other things happen where people go, ah, it's just a nyam. There wasn't anything. And then all of a sudden we feel more comfortable. What a shame. Such an paradox of a path. So we're in a non-self-focused, experiential, open, don't have words loving, although not squishy love, embracing experience, where there's no separation between embracer, the act of embracing, and embraced. And we darn humans grab ourselves back. Just almost can't help it. For some, I think Lama Lena expressed this once. I don't think I'm breaking a confidence, because I think she said it publicly. About 12 years ago, this thing I'm trying to describe occurred. And we all have our habits. Hers is as she's told you a million times, she tends to love a good grump, a good grouch. So she went into a big grump, habitual pattern to put the clothes back on, right? Closer to maybe a depressed grump than her usual very active grump. I don't know. You can ask her about that sometime if you want, if she remembers. We all have our own reaction. Anyway, here's what we have for today. And as I do this, I invite, or as we do this, because it won't come out how it was in the middle of the night, I invite us to allow all the awakened ones that ever were, are, and ever will be to join us. All the bodhisattvas, all those, well, the labels automatically limit what they may have experienced or opened to or awakened as. Sometimes the label becomes hero. Some being who has gone on a quest, willingly or not, got dragged into it. But within that quest, things changed, and they were not the same at the end of the quest. And at least as Joseph Campbell comes, because of that change, shift, awakening, they come back to share. All beings who have recognized thusness and stepped out of not stepped, sometimes I think fallen out of the patterns that bind us. We invite them now to help. And if it's possible, we allow for a potential, something possibly to shift that we can't describe, we can't control. We can only be open to. And I'd like to start today was Namkai Norbu, who came up with tons of, what are those things called that are placed and then the word escapes me for some reason. Termas. So many of which involved sound, singing, movement, dance, things to get us to participate in our body. And so today, as we start, I'd like to invite you, if you want, you can sit with some alignment of your channels, but I'm not very fussy about that. Just makes things easier. And notice, put your attention. If you have a lot of chronic pain, do this with some care and ease, and not a tight focus for anyone. But maybe just notice where there might be some tight spots in your body, in our bodies. I'm doing it with you. Maybe a little tension in a muscle. And kind of wander through. Might start at your feet. Just noticing, not trying to change or make anything happen. Not intentionally trying to loosen that muscle or get rid of that knot in our stomach or whatever sensation our body is having, just to be present with it. Might start with our feet. Allow our attention to come up our legs, knees, calves, thighs, hamstrings, our butt. As we do this, we can also be aware, I'll add it in now, I guess, didn't have it before, of our chakras. Our chakras are not these closed little spaces. Well, they can be. Ideally, one flows into the next, flows into the next, flows into the next with ease. But we can notice, do we have energies held in our secret chakra? We have the experience of energies held there. Do we have particular energies held in our navel chakra? Sometimes, at least for me, the place of anxiety, something called anxiety, a bit of tightness, a bit of a knot. We can notice, as we come up, notice our hips. Notice our pelvic bones. Notice our lower belly. Come up and notice our belly button area and our back, where our spine, lower spine, upper spine, our back muscles. Coming up, we can notice our chest, perhaps our heart chakra. Whether anything, energies feel held there. Our breastbone, our lungs, our heartbeat. You may feel your own heartbeat. And up through our collarbone, our shoulders, out down our arms, our biceps, triceps, elbows, forearms, wrists, hands and fingers. Notice if our shoulders are tight. We can notice our throat chakra. Is there a holding in our sound, in the air that's passing in and out? In our neck, in the back of our neck, back to our spine. Up into our brain area, our face, our ears, our nose, cheeks, eyes. We may notice thoughts, sensations, feelings that arise. I have an urge to giggle and ask anybody if they can wiggle their ears. All part of the sensations, thoughts and feelings that run through our form, our body. And now, with that awareness, not attention, not trying to change anything, I'd like us to notice what is holding us up. Are you sitting? If you are sitting, what is your body actually all around your body? What is it in contact with? Notice if your arms are resting in your lap, being supported by your lap. Is your elbow holding all those arm muscles, holding your hand up? Notice everywhere there is contact for your body. If you're standing, notice what you're standing on. You can do this away in reverse with our body. What is holding our head up? What is our head resting on? What is our brain resting in? Fluid within the skull? Because of gravity, we have a downward pull. And we don't just all collapse onto the ground in a puddle. So we can be aware of all the things holding, supporting our diaphragm, supporting the organs above it. Everything, every organ has a supportive tissue holding it. Down to our stomach, our gut. Within the body again. And all the things that it is in contact with. For a minute, can you breathe in and let everything rest down into that support system? Every part of your body, every organ being supported. All the muscles that help support without us doing anything. the spine, the skeleton, the skin, which keeps all of our fluids from simply running out. An amazing thing, our body. And maybe we will notice our feet on the ground, our butt on a chair, our back being supported perhaps by a piece of furniture, a pillow, or by the very parts of our body that do this. And down through what holds the floor up that you're standing on. The piece of furniture that you're sitting on. Everything is resting on something. Go ahead and take that deeper. Down to the supports that hold your house up or your room up. Down to the earth, the surface of the earth, on which those rest and have support. Down into the earth and the layers upon layers that lead into a core. Extremely hot. My science may not be great. Not solid. Not liquid. Not gas. Perhaps all of that. The very core of the earth, which supports the earth in all directions, so that someone can stand what's opposite us. In India, can stand and be supported by the earth in a position that's absolutely opposite from ours, upside down. The earth supports. And as we go forward with this, I guess to start breathing in the support I mentioned before, as we breathe in, all awakened ones, all those who we felt love from, no matter how that may have gotten squished, twisted, or skewed, distorted, no matter how we may have walked away from it or been walked away from. When it began, it was fresh and open, and that's what we'll breathe in. All those we have loved, all those who have loved us in the purest sense. All the Buddhas beyond time, all the Bodhisattvas who have vowed to be present whenever needed. The infinite arms of Chenrezig, with the infinite eyes of wisdom, always present. And as we breathe that in, I'd like us to take it deep, deep breath into our lungs with gratitude. As we breathe in, we refresh our body with oxygen. As we breathe out, we disperse carbon dioxide that would sicken us if there was no way to exhale it. So in the body form, we are utterly dependent on what we perceive as the air outside us. And we breathe it in and let it fill our lungs. And we breathe out all that we don't need. As we breathe in again, breathe in the utterly open-hearted, open-minded, unconditional, uncontainable, ungraspable presence of all awakened ones. As we exhale as that. We'll take it a step farther as we inhale again. Let's inhale that. Let it reach into every cell of our body. Every place there was a little knot. Every place there's some tenderness. And as we do that, and please feel free to exhale again, let go on the exhale of all that is not a benefit to this body. Again, inhaling that utter, open, non-dual, non-sticky joy, love, openness, presence, loving presence. Let it reach into every cell again of your body. Always coming in with our inhale, all the way down to our toes. And when we exhale, releasing anything that isn't a benefit. Our carbon dioxide is a benefit to the trees. What is not a benefit to us may be a benefit to some other being. And we are told in this tradition that even the most yuckiest patterns and goopy bugs and spiders are used, but those things that you feel are the ugliest about you, the worst, the yuckiest, even as you breathe those out, they go down into the earth to, is it Yamantaka? Who with a joyful open mouth takes them all in as food for that being. Nothing to grasp, control, simply allowing the awakeness, the awakeness, the natural aliveness of all of us that is hidden by our patterns, our habits. We breathe that in from those from whom it's not hidden, until it allows us to completely awaken with heart presence in this moment. Every cell of our body. And we breathe out everything that doesn't benefit our body. We can breathe in the rainbow light of all awakened ones. A rainbow light of all light together, which becomes a very lively, warm, white light, sparkly. As we breathe in, we are breathing that light in. That light fills each of our cells, not just our heart or lung area, but every one of our cells, until the radiance of that light shines out, radiates out of us. And that becomes our exhale. Inhale, filling ourselves again and again with the essence that we perceive displayed outside of us, present outside of us, and maybe what we consider greater, better beings. Put that down. All those beings want is for you to recognize that you are that. Breathe it in, become it, every part of your body. You are light. And breathe it out with the wish that all beings have such an experience. And rather than, well, we can certainly allow our consciousness, our awareness, to expand with that so that we're breathing into this form. When we breathe out, we are all form. We are every being. It may feel more natural to you to breathe in as every breathing being and breathe out as you return to your own body. Whatever feels most natural, that's what we do. We'll stick with breathing in. As we breathe in and we remember all the support within our body, the support within what we rest on, the support of the ground, the earth, all the way till its core. I invite you to imagine, or stand if you wish, and allow the very channels that reach and extend beyond the soles of your feet and the palms of your hand. Allow your palms to face the earth. And allow those channels, chi, whatever you want to call it, sa, energy channels, whatever you want to call them, doesn't matter. And from your palms and from your soles of your feet, allow that pure, clear white light, sparkly warm, to reach all the way through whatever we might feel limits us, into the ground, down into the earth. We are rooted in the earth. The earth holds us, sometimes considered Earth Mother. Doesn't matter. We don't need a gender to experience the rooting into what supports our life form. You may literally feel the channels from your palms and soles sinking deep into the earth, reaching deeply into the earth. You are earth. You are the air that we breathe in and out. The pure air of loving presence. Feel it, and we offer it to the earth as the earth offers support to us. We allow that support from the earth that we are now so deeply engaged in, rooted in, to come up through the soles of our feet, through the palms of our hands, and filling our body, feeding ourselves, feeding every aspect of our body. The energy or chi of the earth rising up through our central channel, rising up, flowing smoothly, without restriction, without tightness, flowing up through our crown chakra, into the deep blue of sky space. Beyond duality. And we allow again and again the rooting chi energy of the earth to rise through us into the open sky space. And the openness sky space, which we may visualize, experience as breathing in through our nose, through our mouth, through our crown chakra. Space flowing through our central channel, touching all of our cells, reaching deep into the earth, through us, for it is our root in the earth from which we arise. And it is the sky space of utter openness where we dance. Every bit of movement in our form, actually not all contained within our form. How could it be? But dancing with all the movement in the universe. Without any concept of what moves. Simply resting in the infinite dance of form. The loving presence of all, symbolized by all awakened ones. Where there is no birth and death. Things arise, things dissolve. Ashes to ashes, earth to earth. For our form, hopefully feeding the earth. Beyond form, into space sky. Into alive awareness. We may have a sense of our heart breaking if we have had an experience for a moment of what actually is, of how we isolate and create such suffering because of our very need to survive something we cannot survive. But it is our instinct. And with that open-heartedness, that wish for all beings to find isness, to realize isness. We may incorporate the breathing in, whether it's light, pure sound, dance, and breathe out the very same isness. The greatest gift we can give. And there's no one giving it. It just is. Might we dissolve into what others perceive as rainbow body? Separate light? Probably not while we're in form, for we are rooted in the earth also. We can use so many moments in the day simply to remember and breathe in gratitude for everything that supports us, even when it's failing, even when it's sick, even when this form is struggling. Still, this form tries to support us. And we can help that form Reach deep into the earth for the support the form needs. And we can give thanks and gratitude into the earth for that support. And when we breathe out, all of that connected support, as light, as energy, I don't care, we don't have to name it. We just breathe out with every bit of our loving presence now connected with all loving presence, with the wish that all beings may experience it, may be it, may recognize they are this. Just like that. Actions will arise. This isn't a sense of dead void, no feelings, no movement, no nothing. No. Naturally spontaneous movements will occur. We will grab back some of our habits, some of our patterns, and perhaps we'll have awareness to laugh a little bit. Oop, there I go again. There this being goes again, grabbing on. Simple. 100 times a day. How many times do we breathe in a day? How many times are we grateful to our heart? For good Lord, how many times does it beat in a day, in a month, in a year, in a lifetime? Wow. Good thing I don't have to remember to do that. Circulating life, air, space, in and out. All beings with some form of respiration. Constriction, contraction, expansion, not separate from each other. United in the movement and the spaciousness. We can follow our inspirations. Perhaps for some of us, we think we have sticky knots. We think we've done bad things. Well, we've all done things that we probably would rather not have done. Happens. So perhaps we use the symbols, the energies of Vajrasattva to wash all of those knots out. Again, with all that gunk going down to Yamantaka, who is delighted to accept it. What are we breathing in but the union of energies? Yin and yang, not separate. Not separate for a moment. Not isolated. Can you imagine? And I will guarantee that I will not do this. I will hopefully remember more. Can you imagine if we consciously breathed in and breathed out at all times? Not with our stories about what's happening, but with the pure light, clear light. I like warm light, loving presence. That is the universe, is the heart of all beings. Where would loneliness have a place to root? And yet, fear of loneliness is so much part of most of our cores. There was a movement at one point for everyone to go hug a tree. Give a tree a hug. Well, we are pretty interconnected, what with the exchange of gases. Don't forget to let the tree hug you. There is no need to be a singularity. No need, but we will still experience it sometimes. Part of our patterns. We can feel the pain of the earth. We can focus on the toxins, the life-destroying things that humans have managed to create and inflict on the earth. We can be aware of those, and when we can, take action to help protect the earth. But to run away from experiencing that pain separates us from one of the great supporters of our existence. Just as when we run away from pain we perceive as outside of us, we run away from the connectedness of all life that is so much greater than only pain. Everything, everywhere, all the time. A couple of kitties have wandered in today. My puppy's lying on my feet. Where I am, the trees are getting green leaves, going through that cycle. It's a cycle that feeds itself, supports itself. I like green, new life. I'm sad in the wintertime. No, the winter supports the spring supports the summer supports the fall supports the winter. All of it. A couple people here are in the desert. When we are somewhere, the ability to be present in what is Some people say, oh, the desert, I don't like it. It's too barren. It's too dry. It's too this. It's too that. If you have a chance, go to a desert. There is so much life and color and beauty, natural growths. The desert just doesn't often get up and flash at you, but it's there. It's a saying in my teacher in the American Indian tradition. That's what she liked to be called. I won't remember everything, but she taught, never, of course. All knowledge is within the rocks. The rocks that are, oh, how old are some of the rocks in the earth, let alone in the universe? That tradition says the rocks hold all knowledge. I don't think that means just facts and concepts somehow. All knowledge. And in that tradition, water carries all knowledge everywhere. And all true knowledge comes from the light of stars, the light of the universe. And that's all I can remember to share at the moment. Oh, and we can't own anything. Can you own the stars? Can you own the earth? Well, we think we do. Ha ha. But I have my little part. We are so silly. Well, we're not silly. We're looking for some sort of security, some safety. Can we give it up and join the universe? I had such a lovely time with you today. Thank you all for allowing this to come up as it did. We somehow try so hard sometimes to be a bodhisattva or to be the doer that makes everything all right, the hero, that we forget all the support that's around us. And we can get wrapped up in all the selfish, greedy, hungry actions that beings take. Okay, humans take. Remember the support always. We are this together. We're not alone. May all beings fully recognize that. May we all dance freely beyond our perceived duality. I love you all. Thank you again for being here today.